I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Music Theory Tuition series where I work with you step by step through the ABRSM Discovering Music Theory grades. I'll work through every single exercise and explain everything you need to know. You can access information about the books I have available to help you on my website. Go to sharonbill.com. For advert-free and longer lessons, you can become a patron at patreon.com/SharonBill. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to stay updated. You can support this channel by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SharonBill. Let's press on now in the Grade 4 Discovering Music Theory practice exam paper. At the back of the book, we're on page 72 now, starting to look at keys and scales. And so this is the third part of the exam paper, and I do suggest that you treat this practice exam paper as a mock exam and do try these first of all on your own to see what you can remember and to see what perhaps needs a little bit more revision. So let's check these through together. Now in all of this section and also in many other sections you're going to need to know your key signatures, and I do suggest that on your scrap paper you write out your circle of fifths and just quickly list all of your key signatures for your major and your minor keys. And so we know that F sharp minor is related to A major, which has a key signature of F sharps, C sharps and G sharps. So we need those to be positioned correctly in the appropriate clef, and it makes this sort of diamond, sort of diagonal pattern. So here we have an F sharp, here we have a C sharp, but actually that's not a G sharp, that's an E sharp. The G sharp should be here. And you just get used to quickly recognising these key signatures, and anything that isn't correct just really stares out at you. So here in the treble clef, this is correct, F sharps, C sharps, G sharps. This one is incorrect because there's too many sharps, and also here. Now then we need to know the key signature for A flat major, and A flat major has a key signature of B flats, E flats, A flats and D flats. So we need to find that properly positioned in the clef. So good boys, B, E, A, that's correct, there we go. And that would be that, but let's just double check. So here we have B flats, E flats, A flats, and that's a C flat. It should be a D flat on the line. There's too many flats going on here, and that's not enough flats. So there we go, that's our answer. We're extra sure now. Now we need to choose what key each of these melodies are in, and so we're going to have to see what clues we've got. Now here we have, in the bass clef, we have a C sharp. Now that could be D major or it could be B minor, because you can't have C sharp in a key signature without an F sharp, so it's got to have a key signature of F sharps and C sharps. And so what other clues have we got? Now here we have an F and there is no sharp, it's an F natural, and so we can't explain that as a key signature. And so the only way we can explain this C sharp is as the raised seventh of D minor. Now D minor has a key signature of B flats, so why is there no B flat here? And if we glance through, it's because there's no note B in which to flatten. Nevertheless, it should have a key signature of B flats, because next bar or so, who knows, there could be a note B and then it would be flattened. But there's no way of explaining this C sharp as part of a key signature because there's no F sharp. The only way we can explain that is a raised seventh, telling us we're in D minor. Now let's look at this next one. Here, what clues do we have? We have an A flat and a D flat. Now we can only have those in a key signature if we've also got B flats, E flats, A flats and D flats. So what are we missing? So there's no B flat, but actually there's no note B. And so there won't be a B flat because there's nothing to flatten. However, here, this is our big clue, and the lack of an E flat implies that if it were a key signature, that would have to be the natural. If that's there, part of this key signature, it has to be in the key signature, and it's raised. That the only way we can explain that is the raised seventh, and if E is the seventh, then the home note, the tonic, is F. That means we're in F minor, which does have a key signature of B flats, E flats, A flats, D flats. The reason there's no B flat is because there's no note B to flatten. However, later in the piece, no doubt there would be. And then let's look at this next one. So we're in the bass clef. We have a D flat, we have an A flat, a G flat, an E flat, and another A flat. So again, we have no B flat, but the whole key signature must include that. It must have B, E, A, D, and G flats. The reason there's no B flat is because, again, there's no note B to flatten. If there were, it would be flattened. However, there's nothing else that we can't explain. Everything is there to tell us that's a major key signature. The entire key signature is represented wherever there's a note applies. And so that means we're in D flat major. Let's turn the page. So turning over to page 73. So we have some chromatic scales here. Now just a little bit of a reminder, do remember the chromatic scale works in semitones. This is where having your piano keyboard really helps to see the semitones, because we're going to have to be dealing with enharmonic equivalents. And remember that every step, every note allocation on the line and the space must be represented at least once, but no more than twice. And we can't have any enharmonic equivalents showing the same note, the same sound twice, because then we're not keeping moving upwards with a chromatic scale. So let's see what we've got here. So is this a correctly written chromatic scale? What have we got? So we have D, E flat, E natural. That's correct. We need to cancel the flat. Now here we've got an F flat, which is the same as E. That's the same. So already we're wrong. That should be just F. So that's where we should carry on from. G flat, G, A flat. We've got then no A. We go straight from A flat to B flat. We've got a tone there, not a semitone. So you can see it's all going horribly wrong here. B, C, C sharp, D. So no, that's not correct at all. Let's continue. Is this correctly written for a chromatic scale beginning on G? We're descending now. So let's see what we've got. We've got G, F sharp, E sharp, that's correct, E natural, D sharp, D natural, C sharp. Now B sharp will be correct. Then we have B, A sharp, A, G sharp, G. That could have been written instead of B sharp, that could have been written as a C. However, here they've put B sharp, and it does properly represent all of the semitones. So yes, that's correct. Now we need to complete this scale. So before we go on and tick the box, I'm going to just diagram out what we need to do. So we have to go, remember scale means step, so we need every line, every space. Line, space, line, space, line, space, line. That's a bit big, never mind. Space. Now B major must have a key signature of F, C, G, D, A sharps. And so we need to make sure they are applied as accidentals. So we have an F sharp, a C sharp, a G sharp, a D sharp and an A sharp, so that must be an A sharp to properly fulfill what would be the key signature. E here is not affected. If you find that tricky, if you're not used to this clef, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then you can add your sharps. And so now we can easily say that X should be E and Y should be A sharp. And then we turn the page again for the rest of this section. So now we have some more scales questions. And so we need to show which is the correctly written scale to describe C sharp harmonic minor descending. Let's think what that would require. So C sharp minor is related to E major, which has a key signature of F, C, G, D sharps, plus in the harmonic minor form, we have to raise the 7th, which is B sharp. So what do we have here? Let's just see. We're going C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So we have an F sharp, C sharps, G sharps, D sharps, and a B sharp. There's our raised 7th. So that is exactly correct. Here we can see that's not correct. We've not got a B sharp. The 7th needs to be raised. There. And then here we have the same again. The B sharp is missing and we don't want an A sharp. That should be there. Let's look at this next scale. So E flat major ascending. So at least all of these are going in the right direction, so we know we're okay there. E flat major has a key signature of B flats, E flats and A flats. Now because this is quite tricky to read, I'm just going to say E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, and we can see that's going to apply to each of these steps even though the octaves have changed. It must of course begin and end on E flat. Now we have B flats, E flats and A flats here, but we don't have the final tonic as an E flat. We can't have E flat major ending on E, can we? So that won't do. So here we have B flats, E flats, but this here we should have an A flat and instead we've got this note here. So E, F, G, we should have an A flat, shouldn't we? And so actually it's this one, sorry, it's the C. Is it the flat is in the wrong place. And so hopefully this one should answer our purpose. We have B flats, we have E flats, and we have an A flat. That's the one we want. Now here we have a scale, and we need to say if these statements are correct or not. So is this the correctly written scale of E major descending? Well, E major has a key signature of F, C, G, D sharps. Here we have it's beginning and ending on E. It is descending. We have an F, C, G and a D sharp. That's true. Now, is it true or false that the two notes next to the largest interval is going to be a major second, which we know is a full tone? And if you remember, right from grade 1, we know that the major scale goes tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. That's ascending, so descending, it's going to go the other way. However, we know that it's not going to be anything greater than a tone. So even without looking, we know that. If you weren't sure, you could always just check it through and you could look and think, well, E to D sharp is a semitone, D sharp to C sharp is a tone, C sharp to B is a tone. We can see there's a semitone, tone. We can see that the tone is the biggest, but if you know your major scale is constructed of tones and semitones, we don't even need to know. We know that that's true because the tone's the largest step in that scale, in any major scale. Is it true or false that there are two pairs of semitones? And we know that there's a semitone between 3 to 4 and 7 to 8 in a major scale pattern. So 1, 2, 3 to 4, 5, 6, 7 to 8. And here we can see G sharp to A, D sharp to E. So yes, that's true. Now, is it true or false that removing the sharp from the mediant would change this scale into a scale of E harmonic minor? Let's have a think about this. The mediant of this scale, 1, 2, 3, is E, F, G sharp. So we would have E. Let's just step that out. A, B, C, D, E. So if we get rid of that G sharp and have that as a natural, we would still have F, C, and D sharps. So is this going to be E harmonic minor? Well, E minor does have a G natural, but the harmonic minor wouldn't have a C sharp. E minor is related to G major, which has F sharps only in the key signature, and then the raised seventh would be the D sharp. If we have a C sharp, actually what we have is the ascending version of the melodic minor scale, don't we? With the raised sixth and seventh. There's no place for the C sharp in the harmonic minor version. And so that's false. I hope this is helpful to your studies. Please do like and subscribe to stay updated. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee. And for advert-free lessons, you can become a patron. Do visit my website where you'll find many resources available to help you. Visit sharonbill.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.